Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to get into a fascinating topic. You sent us ghosts and spirits.
Ooh, spooky.
Right. You give us this YouTube video called The Science Behind Ghosts and Spirits.
Hmm,
It looks like you're really interested in figuring out all the different types of entities that might be out there.
definitely. It's a question that has captivated people for, well, probably forever. I mean, just look at all the different cultures that have their own unique ghost stories and interpretations of what ghosts and spirits are.
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump right into this video, shall we? First up, we've got orbs. You know, those mysterious balls of light that people often see in photos or videos.
Yeah, those are always interesting. They've caused a lot of debate over the years.
Definitely.
Some folks are convinced they represent spirits, or maybe even a glimpse into another dimension,
Hmm. Interesting.
especially when you consider the whole color thing.
Color thing.
Yeah, like there's this idea that different colored orbs have different meanings. Like white orbs often get associated with purity, while green orbs might be seen as a sign of something malevolent.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool how those interpretations tie into what different cultures think about colors and symbolism.
Mhm.
But what about the scientific side of things?
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some more down-to-earth explanations too. Scientists often attribute orbs to things like dust particles or insects caught in the flash of a camera,
Right.
or even just simple light reflections.
Makes sense. But even with those explanations, it's still kind of creepy to think about.
Hmm.
Like, what makes some people lean towards a paranormal explanation, even when there's a perfectly reasonable scientific one?
Yeah, you've got a point there. There's definitely a psychological element to it all. What makes us believe what we believe?
For sure. Okay, so moving on from orbs, we come to funnel ghosts. Have you ever heard of those?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, imagine you're walking through an old building or something, and you see this swirling vortex of energy,
Hmm.
kind of like smoke or mist.
Yeah, super spooky. Those are often linked to places that have a lot of history.
No.
Maybe where something really emotional or significant happened in the past.
Like an old battlefield or something.
Exactly. And some people think those funnel ghosts are the spirits of people who used to be there, revisiting their old haunts because they can't let go of this world.
So it's almost like an imprint of their energy is somehow stuck in that location.
Right, exactly. Like their energy just hasn't dissipated. It's kind of tied into this idea of residual energy. Like strong emotions or traumatic events can leave a kind of energetic residue behind.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying like if something really bad happens somewhere, that energy could still be there like years later?
That's the idea. Kind of like an echo, but instead of sound, it's an echo of emotions or experiences.
That's seriously creepy. It kind of makes you think twice about, the energy we leave behind, doesn't it?
It does.
Right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about communicators. Those are the entities that really want to connect with the living, often reaching out to loved ones they left behind.
Right, the ones who can't seem to stay away.
Yeah, exactly. And they can be pretty creative in how they try to get our attention. Like they might appear in visions or dreams or even cause sudden temperature changes.
Yeah, or even disembodied voices.
Whoa, imagine hearing a voice and knowing it's someone who's passed away. That would be wild.
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder if we're really alone or if there are ways for those who have passed to communicate with us.
I mean, that's a pretty big question, isn't it? Do you think everyone who passes on tries to communicate?
It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure, not every spirit that reaches out has good intentions.
Yeah, good point. Definitely have to be careful. Speaking of intentions, the next type of entity we have is the mission-oriented spirit. These guys are all about purpose. They're stuck here because they have something they need to accomplish.
Right. They're on a mission, even after death. It could be anything, really, like seeking revenge, protecting loved ones, or finishing a task they left undone. And because they're so focused, their actions can be pretty unpredictable and sometimes even dangerous.
So it's like they're hyper-focused on this one thing and nothing else matters.
Pretty much.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
What would you say drives them to cling to their missions even after they've passed on?
Well, it probably comes down to some powerful emotional connection to that mission. Like maybe it was something incredibly important to them in life, or they feel a sense of obligation that just doesn't go away, even in death.
Hmm, that makes sense. Like they need closure, even in the afterlife.
Huh.
Okay, now let's get into some cultural perspectives. The video talks about family hunger spirits from Chinese culture. Have you heard of those?
Oh, yeah, those are fascinating. They're basically vengeful spirits that stick around to protect their family's legacy and punish anyone who dishonors their memory. It really highlights how important ancestor veneration is in Chinese culture.
So it's all about respecting your ancestors, right?
Right. Exactly. It's a way of maintaining a connection with those who came before and making sure they're doing okay in the afterlife. There are often rituals and offerings involved, like giving food or incense.
Wow, that's so interesting how different cultures approach death and the afterlife.
Yeah.
So these family hunger spirits, are they like guardians of their family's honor?
You could say that they act as protectors, but if their descendants mess up or disrespect their memory, they can get pretty vengeful. It's a powerful reminder of the impact our actions have, even after death.
It definitely adds a whole new layer to the saying, respect your elders.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from Chinese folklore to something a little different. The Boo from Malaysian folklore. This entity is all about terror, feeding on fear and tricking people.
Oh, yeah, the boo-boo. Now, that one is truly creepy. They're especially scary because they can mimic the voices and appearances of loved ones. Like, imagine hearing your mom's voice calling you, but it's actually this thing trying to lure you into a trap.
Oh, that's messed up. Like, how would you even know if it was real or not?
Right. That's what makes it so effective. It preys on that trust and familiarity, using it to manipulate you.
It's like a total mind game. Why would it even do that? What does it get out of tricking people like that?
That's a great question. Maybe it gets stronger by feeding off their fear.
Like fear is its food. That's kind of disturbing.
Right. Or maybe it's just some twisted form of amusement, enjoying the terror it inflicts on others.
Okay, that's officially nightmare fuel. All right, we've explored entities from China and Malaysia. Let's head over to West Bengal, India, where we find the Shakchuni.
Ah, the Shakchuni. She's quite a character. Described as the restless spirit of a married woman who died longing for companionship.
So she's like a lonely ghost.
Basically, yeah. But what's interesting is that she can possess people and change her form, hiding her true face behind a veil.
Whoa, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a recurring theme here with these spirits. Like, a lot of them are driven by strong emotions or desires they couldn't fulfill in life.
That's a really good observation. In her case, it's this longing for connection that she was denied. It makes you wonder what happens to our feelings when we die. Do they just disappear? Or do they linger on, shaping our experiences in the afterlife?
That's a really dumb question. I don't know if we have the answer to that one, but it definitely makes you think. Like, maybe it's important to live a fulfilling life, to address those emotional needs and find closure while we can.
I think that's a really valuable takeaway.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. Orbs, funnel ghosts, communicators, mission-oriented spirits, and even some cultural perspectives from China, Malaysia, and India.
Yeah, we've been all over the map.
And what's fascinating is that all these entities, even though they seem so different, they all have this connection to the experiences and emotions of their past lives. Like, maybe the line between life and death isn't as clear as we think it is.
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder.
It does, and we still have so many more entities to explore.
Can't wait to dive into the rest.
Me too. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll encounter even more fascinating and maybe even terrifying spirits.
Welcome back, everyone. Ready for some more spooky stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I'm already kind of creeped out and we're only halfway through this video, so where are we headed next?
Well, get ready because these next entities are definitely on the scarier end of the spectrum. We're going to talk about snatchers.
Snatchers, like they snatch things.
Kind of, but not in the way you might think. These entities are all about control. They prey on fear and try to actually take control of their victims' bodies.
Wait, hold on. You're saying like possession?
Exactly. The idea of something inhabiting your body, controlling your thoughts and actions. It's like a primal fear, right? Losing yourself, being overtaken by something else.
That's straight out of a horror movie. But is there any truth to those stories? Or is it just, campfire tales to freak people out?
Well, reports of possession have been around for centuries, in all sorts of cultures. While some cases might be explained by, say, psychological conditions, there are others that are harder to explain. Like, the video mentions victims experiencing blackouts.
Blackouts.
Yeah, or feeling disconnected from their actions, like they're not really in control of their own body.
Okay, yeah, that's seriously disturbing. To think something could be messing with your head and you wouldn't even know it? What would make a spirit want to do that? Why possess someone?
There are a lot of theories out there. Some say they're looking for a physical form to interact with the world, while others think they might be feeding off the victim's energy or emotions. Or maybe they're trying to achieve something specific, using the person's body as a tool to get it done.
Wow, it's like the ultimate violation, isn't it? It really makes you realize how vulnerable we are to things we don't understand.
Definitely easy something to think about.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to a classic. Bloody Mary. We all know this one, right? Summoning her in the mirror, in the dark.
Bloody Mary, a legend that just won't die.
I know, right? Even in this day and age, everyone still knows about her.
I think it's fascinating how that legend has stuck around, evolving across different cultures and time periods. While the specifics of her story might differ, it always comes back to this vengeful spirit that you can summon with a ritual.
He's like, why are we still so drawn to those kinds of stories, even today, when we think we have all the answers?
Well, maybe it's because, deep down, we're still fascinated by the unknown. We want to believe that there are forces out there we can't fully explain or control.
It's like a way to face our fears, right?
Yeah.
In a safe way.
Yeah, exactly. To test those boundaries between what's real and what's imagined.
Plus, there's something about the ritual itself. Saying her name 3 times in a dark bathroom. It's almost like we're setting the stage for our imaginations to run wild.
Absolutely. We're creating the atmosphere, inviting the fear in.
Okay, let's go from ritualistic to chaotic. The video talks about seekers. They sound like they're just trouble.
They can be. These entities are all about getting attention. They cause disturbances, make things go bump in the night, all just to get noticed.
So they're like the ghosts who are throwing a tantrum because no one's paying attention to them.
Kind of. But it makes you wonder why. Maybe some spirits experience a kind of loneliness, a yearning to connect, and this is the only way they know how.
That's kind of sad when you think about it, like they're stuck, craving attention, unable to find peace.
It is a bit melancholic, isn't it?
Right. We've talked about spirits driven by vengeance, a need for connection, a desire to control. Now it seems like we're getting to the really dark stuff. Evil spirits. Just the name sends chills down my spine.
Yeah, these are the entities that represent pure darkness. It's believed they come from individuals who were truly evil in life. Like, their darkness didn't die with them. It got amplified in the spirit world.
So you're saying, like, if someone was truly wicked in life, that wickedness can become even more powerful after they die.
That's the idea. They're drawn to places of suffering, feeding off negative energy, and seeking to inflict pain on others.
That's a terrifying thought. It's almost like a warning, right? Like, what we do in life matters, even after we're gone.
I think that's a really important point. The video suggests that these spirits retain their memories and desires. All that rage, hatred, vengeance, it sticks with them.
It's a lot to process, that our choices could have such a profound impact, even in the afterlife.
Definitely gives you a new perspective on things.
Okay, so we've covered some pretty heavy entities in this section. Are you seeing any patterns here, like any common threads between all these different types of spirits?
Well, it seems like a lot of them are driven by unresolved issues from their past lives. We've seen spirits motivated by love, vengeance, loneliness, even a need to control. It's like the transition between life and death is this really emotional, complicated process.
It's almost like they're frozen in time, stuck in a loop of their final thoughts and emotions.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you wonder, is there a way for them to find peace, to move on? Or are they forever bound by the choices they made in life?
I mean, that's the ultimate question, isn't it? Is there hope for them? Or are they stuck?
That's a debate that's been going on for ages. Some believe in redemption, in spirits evolving and finding peace. Others think our actions have lasting consequences, shaping our experience in the afterlife, whatever that might be.
It's fascinating and a little bit scary to think about. Even if we don't know for sure what happens after death, these stories make us think about our own lives and the legacy we'll leave behind.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're so drawn to these stories. They make us confront the big questions, the mysteries of life and death.
It's like they hold up a mirror to our own mortality, forcing us to confront our fears and hopes about what might lie beyond.
Yeah, and as we continue to explore the rest of these entities, I think it's important to keep an open mind. There's still so much we don't know about the spirit world.
Right. So much to discover. We've really gone deep, haven't we? From those friendly spirits to the downright terrifying ones. It's wild how many different types of entities people believe in.
It really is. And it makes you think, all these stories, no matter where they come from or how different they seem, they all tap into those deep-seated fears we have as humans.
Fears?
Yeah, like the fear of the unknown, the fear of losing control, even the fear that what we do in this life will matter after we're gone.
It's like these stories are a way for us to deal with those fears, to explore them without actually being in danger.
Exactly. They give us a framework to try and understand things we can't explain, to make sense of experiences that might otherwise leave us feeling totally overwhelmed.
I get it. So if we've talked about a whole bunch of entities now, Do you think the video says anything about why people are so fascinated by ghosts and spirits in the first place? Like, what draws us to these stories?
Yeah, it does actually. It mentions this idea that even though ghost stories are often scary, they can also give us a sense of hope. Yeah, like think about the stories where spirits communicate with loved ones, or offer guidance, or even protect people. Those stories hint at the idea that maybe death isn't the end, that maybe consciousness and connection can continue in some way.
That's kind of comforting, isn't it? Like, even though some stories play on our fears, others offer a sense of comfort, a possibility that there's more to existence than what we can see and touch.
Right. It's like we're looking for a sense of continuity, some reassurance that a part of us might carry on even after our physical bodies are gone.
Makes sense? So maybe these stories aren't just for entertainment, you know? Maybe they serve a deeper purpose.
I think so. They give us a way to think about those big questions of life and death, consciousness, what happens after we die. They open up a space for wonder, for imagining possibilities that we might not be able to face directly.
It's like, even if we don't believe in ghosts, these stories can still teach us something about ourselves.
Exactly. They're a reflection of our hopes and fears, our need to understand the world around us, even the parts we can't see.
Okay, so we've come to the end of this deep dive. What's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with after exploring all these different entities?
I'd say it's to stay open-minded. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, these stories offer a glimpse into human nature, our shared fears, and our fascination with the unknown. They make us think, they make us question, and that's a good thing.
I love that. To approach these stories with curiosity, to acknowledge that there are things we don't understand, and maybe, just maybe, to find a little bit of wonder in the mysteries of the world.
Beautifully put.
Well, that's it for this deep dive into the world of ghosts and spirits. Thanks for joining us on this spooky journey. We'll see you next time.